CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a homicide investigation in a small community on Lake Huron. Police say they have a suspect in custody who neighbors say is the son of the woman who was found dead. Sean Irvin reports.
OPP forensic officers prepare to enter a home in the community of Northville Estates in the Lake Huron shoreline village of Port Franks. It was here that multiple residents reported a disturbance broke out shortly after 1:30 p.m. Saturday. All have told CTV News that a woman was attacked and stabbed inside a home. One neighbor telling us that another neighbor rushed into her home to report the stabbing of her friend, the woman next door. The same neighbor indicated a male resident trying to help was also attacked. A few moments later, this man was on his porch when he spotted another man moving quickly. He identified him as the woman's son.
Come running from this area here into the side of the house and down into they have a kind of a basement thing in his underwear. So it kind of shocked me.
Neighbors say within moments a large police presence was on scene, with the first arriving officers desperately attempting to save the woman's life.
They were carrying her and they brought her over here to the grass and they put her down and tried resuscitating her for a long time, but it was quite apparent that that wasn't going to work.
It is expected that police will release more details in the coming hours, but for now they've only confirmed limited information.
Upon arrival, we located somebody who was deceased at scene. Another individual was seriously injured and taken to a hospital. One person was taken into custody without incident.
Multiple residents report the injured man is recovering in hospital. Some have visited him.
And he said it was the most horrible thing he's ever seen.
Overwhelmed by the violence, the tight-knit retirement community is supporting each other as police continue their investigation. All residents are grieving the woman who was killed. Many view her as gracious.
I just know she's a beautiful and very smart and very kind person.
Police say the man is expected to appear in court on Tuesday. At least one neighbor reported there had not been any police at the home in the past. In Port Franks, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Londoners at risk of falling through a renoviction loophole are calling on city councillors for immediate action. However, as Daryl Newcomb reports, a motion targeting unethical landlords left politicians deadlocked today.
I can't afford today's rents. I'm afraid of becoming homeless. I don't know what's going to happen to me and my cat.
It's really time that City Hall looks at things differently when it comes to affordable housing, or more of us are going to be out on the street.
It's the elderly and it's the disabled and the traumas that they have to go through to fight back against these bad faith tactics.
Tenants and advocates called on a council committee to back a motion by Councillor David Ferreira aiming to close a loophole in the city's rent-eviction bylaw. While landlords issuing N13 notices to evict tenants before renovating their units must get a license from City Hall, those issuing N13s to demolish the unit or convert it into commercial space are exempt.
There has been a clear increase on dem evictions from bad faith landlords just looking to remove tenants from their long-standing housing.
Council enacted a bylaw in March that aimed to prevent bad faith N13 evictions when landlords remove low-income tenants simply to hike the rent. But staff admitted because of their existing workload, a report wouldn't be ready until the third or fourth quarter of next year. Councillor Pribble suggested that allows council time to receive an already anticipated report reviewing the current rent eviction bylaw early in the new year before making a decision about the loophole.
And I really want to wait for it and make the best possible decisions going forward.
I'm not willing to say, sorry, we're going to do a review next year, and too bad, so sad if something happens to you.
Ferreira's motion lost on a tie vote 2-2. The deadlock meaning it will not receive the committee's recommendation prior to going to council.
It doesn't make sense to me at all. I think we need to stop this now. There are a ton of people out there that are at risk that are already going through this process right now.
Staff have a report coming back in Q2 of next year. Interested to see that report before I look at decisions of what needs to be made for next steps.
I'm so worried about just throwing more and more people into homelessness. And we're not paying enough attention to homeless prevention.
A final decision will be up to City Council at its meeting on December 16th. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
London will have less money for homeless initiatives when the federal government ends a pair of funding programs this spring.
We need to have the senior levels of government treating this issue seriously.
In April, the budget for London's housing stability services will drop $2.3 million as one-time federal funding expires. In response, city officials have developed a 2-year plan transforming the homelessness system and seeking other funding options to provide basic needs. Leaders with frontline agencies say more federal funding is important, with a significant impact expected on their services.
We need to look at the impact on some of the broader spending across our community. And myself, my colleagues in this work, and certainly the board of Arcade Street Mission wanted to make it very clear to you as councillors the challenge that is before us all when we look at this reduction in funding.
Parents of kids at a North London elementary school say they're shaken up after learning a teenager was arrested last week accused of threatening gun violence against the school community. With more on their reaction and the latest on the police investigation, here's Rita Ismail.
Parents say fear spread quickly after word circulated that police were investigating weapons threats connected to Masonville Public School.
Freak out is obviously a bit of an exaggeration, but as a parent, you can't help it. You can't help but freak out a little bit, right? It's just you're scared. You didn't know what actually could have happened, and it's like hearing about all of it after the fact. It was just unsettling.
Another parent told CTV News she was petrified.
Because this is a good neighborhood, a good school, and it was a mixed emotions.
Just before 2 on Friday, officers responded to a report involving a 16-year-old male who had made threats indicating that he would discharge a firearm at the school. Late Friday afternoon, the school sent an email notifying families of the situation. It told parents that while a threat had been received, the situation did not require the school to enter a lockdown or hold and secure. London police say officers worked quickly once the report came in.
The London Police Service takes these investigations seriously. Officers acted quickly, and as a result of their quick response, we're able to identify and locate the individual and made the arrest and have charged the 16-year-old youth with 2 counts of uttering threats.
Police say the teen cannot be named under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. On Friday, officers executed a search warrant at the youth's home. No weapons or firearms were found. Investigators later confirmed neither the teen nor their family has access to any weapons. The 16-year-old is now facing 2 counts of uttering threats. Police say the investigation remains active. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Local parents have launched a bus safety campaign motivated by tragedy this time last year when a young boy was killed by a driver as he was getting off the bus. With more on the message they're trying to spread, here's Jerry DeWan.
The death of 7-year-old Dante Caranci last December devastated his family, friends, and school community. Now members of that school community have organized the No Excuses campaign to put new emphasis on school bus safety.
The campaign was really focused on raising awareness, sharing that there are absolutely no excuses for breaking the law as it's putting children in danger.
Dante Caranci attended Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Elementary School in Delaware. He had just exited his bus at the end of the school day on December 16, 2024, when he was struck and killed. The incident happened on Longwoods Road near Murray Road in Lambeth. The Community Bus Safety Committee says incidents where drivers pass school buses are shockingly common.
The province of Ontario did a study in 2023, I believe, where they estimated that 30,000 drive-bys happen per day in Ontario, which is beyond shocking. That is a terrible statistic, and that's 30,000 opportunities where our children are actually put in danger.
The committee has created a campaign that can be used in a number of different ways, including billboards, rink boards, and social media posts.
We really feel strongly about this initiative, given the time of year. Drivers are distracted. They either don't know the rules of the road, they don't care, or again, they're just really distracted. We see drive-bys in our neighborhood all the time.
The committee is offering the resources at no charge to anyone who wants to donate ad space or fundraise to buy space in order to promote the bus safety message.
I think that the campaign message about no excuses is really that moment to slow down and make really good choices, follow the law, and make sure that everyone is safe.
In June, London police announced charges against 2 people in connection with Dante Carancy's death, a 47-year-old courier who allegedly passed the bus, which had safety lights flashing and the stop sign displayed, and the 81-year-old bus driver who police allege ignored many safety steps when allowing Carancy to exit the bus. Both cases are still before the courts. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
Officials with the Middlesex Centre Fire Service say they're investigating a house fire near Strathroy. They say the fire was reported early Sunday morning. Damage is estimated at about $1 million. No injuries have been reported, and at this point, the cause is under investigation.
It was a stubborn fire. We were there for a little while. We probably had about 10 to 12 apparatuses on scene and around 35 to 40 firefighters at the height of it.
A London police officer took the stand at a coroner's inquest today, which is looking into the death of a woman in police custody. As Nick Paparella reports, in hindsight, the officer says he would have done things differently the night she died.
Within minutes of her second arrest on the same day, Amanda Bolt was telling London police officers in the cell block area at headquarters on Dundas Street that she wanted to go to hospital for medications. Released from custody earlier that same November day in 2019 so she could get her prescription drugs, the 28-year-old was rearrested for breaching her conditions on domestic charges. Sergeant Kevin Louis was in cells that night and said, "I believe the medications she was seeking to get were not urgent. If these medications were so essential, why wouldn't she make efforts to obtain them earlier?" He went on to say she wasn't showing outward signs of being intoxicated by drugs. She wasn't slurring her words, so it didn't lead me to believe she was in immediate need of medical care. The inquest has heard that Bolt had a long list of medical and mental health issues and that she took medications for her heart. Hours after being placed in cells, Bolt was under medical distress and would be rushed to Victoria Hospital, where she would die 10 days later from cardiac arrest. Asked what he would do differently today, Sergeant Louis said, "In hindsight, I would have listened more and asked more questions." The officer told the jury he would recommend more staff and resources in the cell block area at headquarters. And before wrapping up, he told the Bolt family, "I hope this inquest can give you a small measure of closure." Nick Paparella, CTV News.
A dentist office in Toronto is the latest business to land under the microscope for its apparent connection to Premier Doug Ford and the multi-million-dollar grant it received from the Skills Development Fund. John Woodward reports.
So my question to the Premier is, did he give $2 million of government funding to his personal and family dentist?
Speaker, Premier's already said that's incorrect, Speaker.
A raucous question period at the Ontario Legislature Monday morning focused on a $2.5 billion jobs training fund. One recipient of $2 million, a company belonging to the principal dentist of JM Dental, which said on its website, "We want you to feel as comfortable and relaxed as the Ford family has during their visits with us." The Premier denied that he goes there. Photos show them together. But all of it sparked jokes from opposition benches.
Trying to get an answer out of this government on anything to do with Skills Development Fund is like, it's worse than a root canal. And I've had quite a few.
I will say, I think the Premier is really putting his money where his mouth is.
This is just the latest recipient of the Skills Development Fund to have their connections to the Doug Ford government examined in the wake of a scathing Auditor General report that found that political staff overruled bureaucrats about where the money was going more than half the time. That money, for example, going to major PC party donors. One recipient got money despite a forensic audit that is now being investigated by the OPP. Almost $10 million went to a nonprofit operating out of a venue licensed as an adult entertainment club.
$10 million is a lot of money.
Opposition MPPs questioning bureaucrats in a committee room Monday afternoon, learning even with this scandal, the approvals for the next round of grants will still be done by the minister.
Just to be clear, it will still be the minister who decides who gets what funding. Is that correct?
So the way the
the SDF has designed is that the staff provide their information and the minister decides.
So that's not changing.
As for that dentist, days after we visited their office in person, an executive said they had no comment. But that claim about the Ford family has now been removed from their website. John Woodward, CTV News.
One of the former World Junior hockey players acquitted in last summer's sexual assault trial has signed a contract in the American Hockey League. Cal Foote hasn't played in the NHL since the 2023-24 season with the New Jersey Devils. He was charged with sexual assault last year along with 4 of his Canadian World Junior teammates, and they were each acquitted in July. Goaltender Carter Hart is the only player so far to sign an NHL contract since the trial ended. London police say they need help identifying a suspect wanted for their involvement in an anti-war protest back in October. They say the suspect is a white man with a medium build who was wearing a black hoodie, toque, and sunglasses with a blue bandana around his neck. Police say a previously wanted woman from Toronto turned herself in last week with a court appearance set for next month. Police say 6 suspects from across Ontario face various charges after announcing seizures last week where they found smoke bombs, hard drives, and protest placards from search warrants. Later on CTV News, Seniors in the Spotlight, the local theatre production bringing plenty of life experience to the stage. Canada's main stock index was weighed down by losses in the technology sector. The TSX fell 281 points. In New York, the Dow lost 427. The Nasdaq dropped 90. The Canadian dollar ended the day unchanged. On commodity markets, gold gained almost $20 an ounce. Oil is up 77 cents a barrel. Prime Minister Mark Carney has shuffled his cabinet after a high-profile resignation last week. The former environment minister stepped down from his current position, protesting a pipeline deal with Alberta. With more on today's changes, here's Judy Trin.
The Prime Minister has decided to divide Stephen Guilbeault's previous responsibilities between 3 ministers. The biggest surprise was the return of a new old face. Mark Miller is returning to the inner circle after being dropped from cabinet after Mark Carney's election. Miller was a loyal supporter of Justin Trudeau, but has now been appointed Minister of Canadian Culture and Identity, as well as the minister responsible for official languages.
It feels great. I am a guy that likes to be busy, and so I was a little restless, but it's nice to get the opportunity to keep on doing some amazing work and contributing to Canada, for the reasons that I got into politics, because I love my country.
Current Minister for Transformation of the Public Service and Procurement, Joel Lightbound, takes on the additional role of Quebec Lieutenant. Here's what he said after he was sworn in.
I'll just say that I'm honored by the trust bestowed on me by the Prime Minister. It's an important role in federal politics and in Quebec politics, and I look forward to getting to it.
Also, the current Minister of the Environment and Climate Change, Julie DeBrusen, takes on the additional role of Minister for Nature. She takes on responsibility for national parks. All 3 ministers involved in this shuffle were first elected in 2015. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Good evening. We'll have some greasy roads developing overnight with some light snow coming down. Light snow early in the morning. Temperature -5 to -4 as you head out the door. Leave yourself a little extra time to clean off the car. Thanks, Kristen, for this photo. This is a great shot in terms of bundling up as you head out the door. Stay with us. I'll have your local weather details coming up.
Welcome back on the desk with Julie now, and it's felt like at least once a week we've had the shovels out over the last month or so. Because it's all kind of gone away at some point. Is this the snow that sticks around, though, at this point?
Yeah, at this point.
Looking at the temperatures.
I mean, yes, temperatures this week well below normal, below freezing for daytime highs. And that snow out there that's falling tonight will continue to fall through the overnight into tomorrow morning. So, yes, definitely some winter-like conditions. Now, December can throw a curveball, of course, with temperatures fluctuating. But at this point, we're looking at below average temperatures for much of the month. -2 are high, -5 are low, comparing that with what's normal normal. We should be at 3 degrees this time of year. Now, satellite radar shows this area of snowfall that's making the move in. We've had snowfall well off to the south, and that's continuing, but it's pushing up this moisture northward. And as a result, yes, we have that snow coming in overnight. We've had some heavy squalls in through the Bruce Peninsula, Grey and Bruce County. You've been dealing with snow squalls and very rough road conditions, even whiteouts. That continues tonight, so we still have some squalls coming through. Generally, snowfall amounts in these heavier bands that lock in about 10+ centimeters. But of course, as they fluctuate through that Bruce Peninsula, changes the snowfall amount. We've also had some heavy squalls off Georgian Bay in and around Parry Sound, dealing with some heavy squalls. -6 to -7 if you're near the lakeshore tonight, -4, but it's cold any way you look at it. So how much snow is coming with this system? Well, generally along the northern shoreline of Lake Erie, that's where we'll see the highest amounts of snowfall. And the reason is that this system is well off to the south, so it's just pushing up this shield rather of moisture that's coming in, and as a result, we're picking up some heavy snow. So it's able to make its way into London, but north of that, just expecting a very light dusting towards Huron, Perth, Grey and Bruce. Parts of northern Perth County, you could see some higher snowfall amounts, close to 4 centimeters. So this is not a very high impact system, but enough that you might want to take note. Leave yourself a little bit of extra time as you head out the door tomorrow morning. You will need to brush off your cars, of course, and those snowfall amounts along that northern shoreline of Lake Erie, anywhere between 5 and 8 centimeters. In London, we'll see about 2 to 4 centimeters overnight, likely about close to 5 when all is said and done. And then as we head into your Tuesday afternoon, back into a mix of sun and cloud. There'll be some flurries through Grey and Bruce County heading into tomorrow afternoon, but here on Perth, you'll be into a nice mix. The forecast high in London Tuesday at the freezing mark, and some nice sunny breaks as we head through the day. So the snowfall comes to an end quite quickly in the morning. Mainly cloudy on Wednesday, the high -2, an Arctic cold front coming in Wednesday night with nighttime flurries, and that will bring an intrusion of cold Arctic air to the region. Look at the overnight lows, friends, -8 to -13, so getting awfully chilly. We have some sunshine in the forecast, but an icy chill Thursday, the high -5. -3 on Friday with night flurries and the risk of flurries on Saturday at -1. Mainly cloudy on Sunday and a mix on Monday. Midwestern Ontario, your snow squalls have been ramped up already this season. As we head into tomorrow, the snow squalls will be winding down. Just the chance for flurries. Again, that area of low pressure well off to the south, so really not having much of an impact on Grey Bruce. Here on Perth, you'll pick up some very light flurries overnight and first thing in the morning, but quickly coming to an end. Some nice breaks of sunshine expected before the clouds move back in. Wednesday, the risk of flurries at -3, -5, with a mix of sun and cloud on Thursday and some nighttime flurries. And then the risk of flurries pretty much every day for you guys. -6, -2 as we head into your Saturday, and daytime highs over the weekend, recovering a bit after this cold plunge of air moving in Thursday and Friday. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks very much, Julie. A nearly 200-year-old flour mill in Huron County may be transformed into a mini museum. With more on the personal campaign to save Logan's Mill, here's Scott Miller.
We'll have a 3-story setup.
Doug Scholdice has fond memories of coming to Logan's Mill in Brussels with his grandfather.
My memory is my grandfather. I remember being with him to drop bags of grain off here, have them milled, and then go to town, get the groceries, and then pick them up again and take them home.
Before gasoline and electricity, water-powered mills is how farmers and farm families turned the grain they grew into food for themselves and their livestock. Flour and grist mills were the lifeblood of rural communities. Over 60 dams and mills lined the Maitland River in Huron County alone.
Grain milling used to be done by hand, and then it went to horsepower, and this is a mill operated by belts and pulleys and all the other good things and so on a commercial basis. So it shows a lot about the history of Huron County and our general area in terms of occupying a property that was first purchased by the Canada Company a couple hundred years ago.
Laviolette and Scholdice are part of a group, the Maitland Mills Association, trying to save one of the only mills left standing in Huron County. Logan's Mill in Brussels was built in 1859. It survived 2 fires, but eventually closed in 1965. It sat vacant ever since. Scholdice and Laviolette envision a mini museum showcasing the inner workings of the mill, including historical artifacts from other now defunct mills along the Maitland River.
It's also a place, education for school kids to come and tour. to see some of the history of the area.
Of course, nothing is cheap in the restoration business. The estimates right now to turn this old mill into a museum is approximately $750,000. Schuldeis and Laviolette believe this is a valuable project to try and preserve and highlight a way of life that's almost entirely forgotten.
Our timeline is hopefully by the end of 2027 is to have something that is operational and viewable.
In Brussels, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Finally tonight, a local theater troupe comprised entirely of seniors. They're back with their 4th production, starting a 10-day run at the Grand Theatre. With more on this year's show, here's Brent Lale.
From seasoned actors to those taking the stage for the first time, London's Silver Spotlight Theatre is back.
Movies were movies. This is my first musical period.
People go show tune. What show tune? Jerry Herman. Who's Jerry Herman? But then you think about the songs, La Cage aux Folles, Mame, Hello Dolly, and you go, I didn't know Jerry Herman wrote all those songs.
Known as SST, the company was created in 2022 to give senior actors more opportunity.
I knew I was in the demographic, but I thought this would be a great opportunity to explore musical theater. I've sung in Broadway choirs and done some workshops in musical theater, but I thought, well, this is my chance to make my debut. This time and for all time.
After performing in Babes in Arms and Grease, Karen Hamilton McDonald is ready to take the stage for her 3rd production.
I'm obviously a senior, and to have the chance to play younger roles that I may not have done in my younger years is a real bonus, and as I say, a lot of fun with cast members have become a little community.
Show Tune will begin a 10-day run starting Thursday at the Auburn stage of the Grand Theatre. Formerly under the umbrella of Musical Theatre Productions, SST is now separating.
We were able to acquire our own charitable status through CRA, and we have established our own brand, if you will, within the community. It's given us an autonomy that we've long looked for. We're not necessarily tied to doing musicals all the time. We could do small plays, we could do cabarets, we could do serious pieces.
Romance and action and thrills.
You're going to know some of the songs you won't know, but that's okay. It's going to be a fabulous show. And come out to 90 minutes long and come out and enjoy yourself at the Auburn.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.